Hello and welcome to another session on Embedded Academy, What's New? Today we will focus more on communication and the learning journeys and less on the content like we did in the previous events. I would like to start with the communication part. We have different channels where we provide our news to the latest releases, to new content, but also to some free events as well. I would like to start with LinkedIn. Some of the content at LinkedIn is available also outside of LinkedIn, so you can access from wherever you want to. Not the first thing I'm showing. We initiated a group on learning called Embedded Academy for Electronics, Electrical Engineering, E-Mobility, Embedded Systems and Software. In this group, it's not only us who are providing information on technical content, what you can learn, but also other providers. It's open as long as the group rules are applied. So here you can find news from Embedded Academy as well as information from other providers or just people who want to share their know-how. The group has been initiated some while ago. We get around 20 new members per day and have been growing a community from more than 10,000 members. And here you see the survey I want to discuss later on as well. So we have highlighted the survey. It's the event from today, but it's also other people who are posting their content, know-how, topics, like reducing code complexity and stuff like this. So this is the information you can get in this LinkedIn group. You have to join the group to see the content. So this is one view. In the previous events, you saw that we had a news page on Embedded Academy. We replaced now this new news page with a newsletter. And this newsletter is available also outside from LinkedIn. So if you have a link, you can see also the news from outside. And I would like to introduce this newsletter. It's quite recent. So we started in the beginning of March, have been releasing four times already. So in my configuration of LinkedIn is in German. So we published 4 newsletters so far, and I would like to go through the newsletters. We will put the link in the chat so that you know where it is and you can join. Yeah. And of course, we're happy if you're sharing. More or less, we're waiting for the 10,000 subscribers, 1,000 subscribers, which is good to get within 2 months. Of course, we're happy to get also feedback on our newsletter. Content is varying, so we are providing content, of course, on new content we published. We ask for the survey. We have some free content. We have the trainings which are taking place in Germany at our location, at our new location in Ettershausen. Could be also taking place at your location worldwide when we send the trainers to you. All these kind of things also for new collaboration in terms of trainings. These things we are publishing there, and we can have a short look into what we published so far in terms of news. This was the first one, published 2nd of March, and highlighting the news in the area of cryptography, because in January and February we released new courses on cryptography, namely Introduction to Cryptography and Encryption Methods. This is a short overview, and then it's describing on what you learn and what information which we are providing. So it's introduction to cryptography with cryptography in general. Alice and Bob, the protagonists, which have different roles, and I used to explain, handling of certificates, then symmetric, asymmetric, and hybrid encryption. So this part is explained, what you find there, and then the encryption methods, namely is symmetric encryption methods and asymmetric encryption methods, with a short description which type of methods have been introduced. And of course, you get a short explanation and some links to the Embedded Academy below. So this was the very first one with very few subscribers and very few readers. And then the next one, we already started growing. So the next newsletter, we also highlighted the new releases, because the last encryption e-learning has been published after the first newsletter, which is mathematics and encryption. And then we worked also on e-mobility with electric vehicle system, showing the overall view of the electrified powertrain. And it has a similar structure to say, okay, what have we released? What are the latest things? It's mathematics in encryption. What's inside? It's different mathematical background, substitution and permutation, function and inverse function, which you need. You encrypt, but you also want to decrypt. Exclusive OR, in short XOR, modulo calculation, and multiple group of integers. What we did not cover is all the matrix calculation, because there you need more time, and I believe that there are enough mathematics classes which you can take outside. And then it's the second part, it's electric vehicle system with the system powertrain, the electric drive system design, functional safety, because it's a cross topic, and also system energy management, because energy heat doesn't stop in one place. It's covering, it's distributing itself. So understanding this is also inside. And then again, the information. So this was our second newsletter. The third one is connected to the topic which we have today. Is we have a survey running right now on which learning journeys are of relevance. For different job profiles, we defined learning journeys to give you a guidance on how to learn step by step, what to do first, what to do next, and so on. And as a thank you for taking part to the survey, we will hand out a personal 20% discount to the Embedded Academy if you're filling it out. And more or less, we would like to know really which learning journeys based on your job profiles are relevant from the ones we have, and if you are in the need to have additional ones, a different focus, and what's your area of interest. So we would be very grateful if you would fill in this survey to give us the opportunity to align our roadmap to fulfill your needs. So this was the first newsletter, and it's asking for support with your know-how. And the latest newsletter, which was published 1.5 weeks ago, it's on an automotive topic on AUTOSAR. And we decided to make AUTOSAR, our AUTOSAR course, free of charge. So you can get to know the Embedded Academy and can sign into this course completely. This is the link to the course. You only have to give your data, but it's not payment information which we require. And what's the content of the course? You have AutoSAR as an overview. What's AutoSAR? The different ones, it's classic and also adaptive. And then we go into the classic platform. We have the virtual functional bus, which is the main communication, an introduction, and also the basic principle, and then ending with AutoSAR operating system. This is one option. The other option, which is also explained here, if you want to rather watch the videos on YouTube, we publish quite a lot, but not everything yet. We are releasing step-by-step videos which are featuring the e-learning course, which you can right now already have free of charge. So this is how we are combining things. So you have new releases, you have then free stuff, survey. We will also publish a newsletter with the survey results in the future. If there are collaborations, we will let you know we are this way. And also the presence training at our site in Ettertshausen, which is the new company location. So we already moved. It's not in the official German Handelsregister published yet, but it will be published soon as the official new company address. And we are currently it's called Ettertshausen. It's 5 kilometers out of Regensburg. Very good reachable by train, by car, by even bicycle and bus. And we are in a historic building. It used to be an old brewery. And we even have a wall with old Siemens Schuckert measuring devices controlling the brewery in our entrance area, which almost looks like a museum. So we're really happy with a new location. And of course, we are going to feature also, take classes, come here and visit. It's a great place to be. So these are the 4 newsletters. The next one will be published on this Sunday, and it will be on charging trainings. We can even have a short look inside because, it's as the editor. So you have this is it, and hope I'm not breaking anything now. No, I think I would have to change it back to not published. So, not making any experiments. I hope that it's still in the list. So you will find out it's charging communication trainings, and it's also featuring some pictures of a new location inside, which I'm really proud of. Events are also published in LinkedIn, and we have this is the event we already have, or we currently have. I would like to highlight one event which is upcoming because it's with a friend of mine who has his own company, and they are training software architecture for Eclipsina and for the Embedded Academy here at the new location. And he will give a webinar on testing variants and product lines for embedded systems, which I consider as very, very interesting. So it will be on 13th of March. And I'm happy if you join. And it seems like that this topic interests quite a lot of people. So we're happy that already more than 100 people signed in for this event. So this is it from the communication We did not have this so far in the past, so we're doing quite a lot of LinkedIn and communicating via this way. So it really makes sense to have a look also there. Yeah, and then now I have to look where my next window is. In the background. And now I would like to go towards the learning journeys. So this is the Embedded Academy page, and from the starting page you have a e-learning portfolio, and these learning journeys, we called it packages for your job here. Yeah. The learning portfolio, as you saw, we've been releasing quite a lot recently again, and we are continuing to work on new content, meaning that the content here will be growing and growing and growing. And then orientation is becoming increasingly difficult. What to do first, what to do next, step by step, and how which e-learnings are relevant for my job, which order should I take them, and so on. And this is why we introduced the so-called learning journeys for job profiles, where we give you an orientation, what makes sense to learn first and next. Independent of these learning journeys and this recommendation, our concept is that if you buy an access, you have access to all the e-learning content which is available, so you don't have to decide beforehand, I want to do this or that. If you see that you need some background information or you want to revise something, it's always possible. This, like by a package for 12 weeks or 12 months, it's a recommendation on how much time you should give yourself to study, to revise, and to learn over time. But this also highly depends on how much full time you have working on learning, because I believe that most people will have maybe half an hour a day to continuously update their know-how. So if you decide, for example, that a package here highlighted for 12 months, that you have enough time to really do focused learning, then 12 weeks might be also sufficient. Yeah, it's your choice. It's not mandatory to take this time. So this is the recommendations we have. And the access for 12 weeks is 900 euro, for 12 months, 1,800 euro. So which learning journeys do we have? We have typical embedded ones. We have also on measurement technology. And of course, with our strong automotive background, we have a lot of automotive learning journeys, and then also the e-mobility towards the infrastructure. What I want to show now is we had already quite a lot of these. So we have 2 new ones, and we have this automotive software developer electromobility, where we really cover a wide range of know-how. So you can really do like a 6 weeks full-time studying for automotive software developer electromobility, because we are covering this domain in an excellent way. And this is why I want to go through this one, because there you see the different structural parts and step by step what we would recommend to take one after the other. So it's always like a document opening up when you click there with the information, and you will have the same picture as before, a short explanation on what it's about. The learning order is step by step. So you should start with the first one and go step by step, although some of the blocks are exchangeable. So yeah, it's your decision with which topic you want to start. Here we said, okay, we start with embedded software basics, serial bus systems, cyclic redundancy check, operating system, real-time operating system. So some of the core elements you will need for embedded software development. And of course, as we are in the automotive domain, we have also add-on automotive bus systems, and AutoSAR, what we saw before. Yeah. Many people think if you do software, embedded software means it's embedded in some electronics, or in the car, it's the electronic control unit, or other names depending on which control unit it is. But you always have electronics. You have electronics in different aspects. For example, you have filters at the entering, you have sensors, you have you controlling different things. You have to have an understanding on electronics and electrical fundamentals, and also bridge circuits here. For example, you have often as at the outputs, you have often an H bridge, which is used in your electronics. So I would say this is something which really is mandatory to understand for embedded software development, and of course even more if you are in an electric vehicle, because an electrical vehicle has an electrical machine which is powering the car, and electrical machines have quite a lot of properties to understand. There are different electrical machine types. Usually in electric vehicles, a permanent magnet synchronous machine is used, but it does not mean that it's always the case. There are also other possibilities. To control an electrical machine, you don't have like the basic electronics we looked at before. You have power electronics, because you need power. Means current and voltage, energy which is transferred, and this is less digital. It's a lot analog know-how which you also need. So power electronics fundamentals is very important, and then bringing it all together, controlling it, is the software. And in software we have these learning modules of vector control and control of electrical machines. So then you have a basic embedded electronics, electrical machine stuff. But it's just the machine. Yeah. For e-mobility, you need to know more, to understand more. So we have this e-mobility chapter, which is more specific to e-mobility, because electrical machines you have also in other places, but this is e-mobility focus. We have an introduction to give the overall context. Then going one step deeper to the electric vehicle system. So you have a system view, and we had this before in the newsletter where I said what's the content. So it's the electrified powertrain, it's the electrical system design, functional safety, and also the energy management, which is explained here. But this is covering all, the electric vehicle system. And one part of it is of course, like we saw before, the electrical machine and inverter, which is the power electronics to control the electrical machine and the software. But you also have the battery and the charging. Here we are starting with EV charging fundamentals to understand about the charging, the grid, the standards, and then the more specific information on charging communication between EV and EVSE. The energy is stored in the battery, so a general understanding about battery and battery system is very important as well. We also have a short part where we go into the battery management system, meaning the electronics and software to control the battery. And the last technical topic there, or purely engineering topic, is noise, vibration, and harshness. Coming from the combustion engine, you have many things you need to address new. in the electric vehicle. One is the noise of an electric motor. If you have a control which is giving these kind of high frequencies you don't want to have, this is something you have to take care of. And the electrical machine is not as noisy as the combustion engine, so you might all of a sudden hear some fans which you didn't hear before, to take care of. So understanding noise, vibration, and harshness in this context is also very important. The next topics are a mixture out of technical and IT topics, having more and more connections, updates over the air, connection to telematics systems, is bringing in more and more the topic of automotive cybersecurity. And this has different aspects. So first, you should understand information security, which is considering data and the IT side. Then automotive cybersecurity is the process to take care of in automotive environment. One of the very important aspects here is threat analysis and risk assessment, the TARA. And then we have a part of these newly released modules of Introduction to Cryptography, the mathematical background in encryption, and the encryption methods, the different ones which are used. For example, encryption methods are also used in the charging communication. Depending on which version of a standard you have AES first, and the new upcoming one will have Diffie-Hellman key exchange. So, and this is not all. You also need the process know-how for the development. For the software developers, we did not include all the processes of automotive spice, but only the development relevant processes, which you can see here. We're covering version 3.1 to more or less the BDA scope content. So it was a subset of ASPICE processes which was used in the past, and this subset is still part of the ASPICE version 4.0. We did not cover the processes which we knew would not be further maintained in version 4.0. So, and as very few of the content has changed in 4.0, we believe that the e-learning on 3.1 engineering and supporting processes is still sufficient for developers. So this was the job profile, which is, covered to a large extent, and you see a lot of things you can learn and a lot of different aspects. So the only thing you need to add is some software architecture know-how and some software testing know-how, which is established, and you can also have in-house at our new location or at other companies to teach you this. To have more details on this description, each of the courses you see up here with like a very short description, you have a longer description with links and everything below, and it's described in the same order. And some of the things I said from the content point of view are described here in more detail. So you can scroll down if you want to have more details on this learning journey specific aspects, the different e-learning courses. You can have a look there. It's also like the further insights. It's the page on Embedded Academy page, which is linked, and most of e-learning have also a short trailer so that you can have a short impression on how it looks like, which is available on YouTube. So the next one, it's new, Automotive Software Project Manager learning journey, which we introduced and described just recently. It's a short description on what automotive software project manager should know. Maybe a short explanation before we go into detail. We did not cover the typical project management because there are so many certified project managers for all the different domains that we did not see that this classical project management only content is relevant. So this is something you would need to learn in addition to that. This is here we are focusing on what, as a project manager in the automotive software domain, you should know. The same order, and then here serial bus systems, automotive bus system, operating system, real-time operating system, and AUTOSAR. So it's the embedded stuff, and of course AUTOSAR is an automotive standard. I think a certain understanding should be there for a project manager. Electronics and electrical engineering is important because you have different sensors, H-bridge and whatever you have the electronics which is connected to the car. So there should be an understanding on electronics and electrical engineering. And usually the software project manager also works very closely with the electronics project manager or hardware project manager, how they are calling them, and also with the system people. So there should be some understanding in this respect. Automotive cybersecurity is, like we discussed before, you need information security, the processes and the understanding. And I would say as a software project manager, you have to work together with line manager, including information security and automotive cybersecurity. Maybe the technical content will be more to the engineers, but it's good to have an understanding there as well. Concerning automotive spice, we believe that an automotive project manager needs to know more of the processes than the engineers, because the scope is bigger. So in addition to the engineering and supporting processes, acquisition and supply is important, especially if you have suppliers to be monitored. So you might get an AUTOSAR stack from some AUTOSAR stack providing company, or you have your operating system you're buying from somewhere, or maybe some other cybersecurity encryption packages. So you may have to make sure that also automotive spice and other things are applied on their side. So I would say this is very important process for the automotive software project manager. And the product release, of course, too, because it's release of a software, but it has to be in line with electronics, hardware, and the system. And of course, engineering we had before. For management, here we covered project management process and risk management process in this automotive context. And it's version 3.1, and there are also for 4.0, depending on which automotive spice version applies to your project. And of course here, again, the same detailed description of each of the e-learning courses which are recommended within this package. So this was this role. And then the next new one which we introduced is the embedded software developer electrical machine control. You have electrical machines in so many variants, in so many places, from the small ones for dentists, for example, to bigger in production lines. So there are a lot of places where electrical machines are used, and not all of them have like dedicated software developers. Many electrical machines are also provided by the producers with their inverter and the software, but nevertheless, there are enough people who are working on electrical machine control. And within this package, we have, again, the embedded software part, but without the automotive add-on. Like we see before, embedded software basics, the serial bus systems, most have some kind of connections. Cyclic redundancy check, operating system, real-time operating system. You have the cybersecurity part, which then is lacking here, the automotive cybersecurity. Depending on which field, in which domain you are in, there might be standards which come in addition to this. For example, in avionic or in medical, there certainly are standards which also in addition have to be applied. And then we have the electronics and electrical engineering, which are in this case just the basics you need to know to understand the rest. And then the electrical machine itself. So the different electrical machine types, the power electronics, the vector control, and then the dedicated control of electrical machines. So this was a package we just recently introduced as well. So I would say this is it for today. Maybe to come back to please ask you to fill in our survey so that we have enough input to align our roadmap according to your needs, what we find out, and also to give you a good result or a valid result within some of the next newsletters to show you what is the main need which is required by different people. Okay, thank you for your time today, for listening to what updates I have to give. The next event, like I said, will be with Thomas Schütz from Protos on testing software product lines. And the next update on Embedded Academy, what's new, I guess will be sometime in June. We'll let you know. We have the different channels which we showed before. Thank you very much for your time. I wish you a very nice remaining day. Thank you and bye-bye.